The first snowflake swirled past Kai's goggles, a tiny herald of the approaching blizzard. A shiver danced down his spine despite the heat generated by his descent. Maya, ever the adrenaline junkie, whooped with delight, carving a path down the pristine slope. Liam, ever the voice of caution, urged them to call it a day, a knowing unease twisting his gut. Ignoring his anxieties, they followed Maya deeper into the backcountry, the untouched powder a siren song. Erin, the ever-optimistic one, documented their adventure with her camera, her laughter echoing through the crisp mountain air. The storm descended with a fury. Visibility dropped to near zero, the wind howling like a banshee. Lost and disoriented, they stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin, a beacon of hope in the swirling white. Relief turned to unease as they discovered the cabin was abandoned, a sense of desolation clinging to the air. Inside, they found a dusty journal detailing a chilling encounter, a monstrous creature with an insatiable hunger, lured by a haunting lullaby. That night, huddled around a crackling fire, a bone-deep fear gripped them. As the storm raged outside, a faint melody drifted in on the wind, a mournful, chilling song that sent shivers down their spines. Liam, driven by his premonition, recognized the tune from the journal. The Wendigo, a legendary creature of the north, was real. Each night, the lullaby grew stronger, its melody weaving into their dreams, whispering promises of warmth and safety. One by one, the entity's influence began to take hold. Maya, plagued by a fear of abandonment, felt a tug towards the song, a longing for a solitary peace. Kai, haunted by his past, saw the Wendigo as a twisted form of redemption, a way to escape his demons. Erin and Liam, fueled by hope and a will to survive, fought the lullaby's pull. They knew they had to act before the entity picked them off one by one. Liam, his premonition offering a glimpse into the Wendigo's lair, devised a plan, a desperate gamble against a creature fueled by an insatiable hunger. Using flares and makeshift weapons, they ventured out into the blizzard. The haunting melody grew louder, beckoning them towards a hidden cave entrance. Inside, they found the monstrous Wendigo, a grotesque amalgamation of man and beast, its eyes burning with an unnatural hunger. A fierce battle ensued. Hope flickered with each blow they landed, each flare that illuminated the creature's grotesque form. Finally, they managed to collapse the cave entrance, trapping the Wendigo but at a terrible cost. Exhausted and forever marked by their encounter, they emerged from the mountains. The blizzard had subsided, leaving behind a world of pristine white. The Wendigo's lullaby was silenced, but the memory of its chilling song lingered, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurks in the heart of the wilderness. The biting Alaskan wind whipped around Jack's face as he surveyed the rugged terrain. Leading a group of wilderness survival instructors on a training expedition, he felt a familiar sense of responsibility. Sarah, his trusted second-in-command, scanned the dense forest with a practiced eye. Ben, the tech whiz, fiddled with his GPS device, a hint of unease etched on his face. Emily, the wide-eyed rookie, clung to her backpack, her bravado barely masking a tremor of fear. As they ventured deeper, an unsettling silence pressed down on them. The usual symphony of chirping birds and rustling leaves was replaced by an unnerving quiet. It felt as if the very forest held its breath, observing them with unseen eyes. Their first encounter with the strange phenomenon came at dusk. A simple call and response exercise, a cornerstone of survival training, turned into a chilling experience. Their voices, instead of fading into the distance, were echoed back, distorted, mocking, emanating from the surrounding trees. Fear, a tangible entity, began to seep into their ranks. Ben, his GPS malfunctioning, blamed it on a glitch. Emily, shaken by the echoes, clung to Sarah for comfort. Jack, sensing a deeper darkness at play, remained stoic, his survival instincts urging him to caution. Days blurred into nights. The echoes intensified, manipulating their words, turning them against each other. Simple instructions became cruel commands, innocent questions twisted into accusations. Sarah, known for her calm demeanor, found herself snapping at Emily. Ben, his frustration mounting, lashed out at Jack's traditional methods. Panic threatened to consume them. Jack, recognizing the danger of the manipulated echoes, devised a plan. They would communicate in silence, relying on hand signals and survival instincts. It was a desperate gamble, but it was their only hope. Their silent journey through the wilderness was fraught with tension. Each rustle of leaves, each snap of a twig sent shivers down their spines. But the silence, once oppressive, offered a sense of unity they had lost. The climax came upon stumbling upon a clearing. In the center stood a circle of ancient trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like skeletal fingers. An unnatural stillness hung over the clearing, a sense of malevolent power. As they stepped into the clearing, the echoes returned, a cacophony of their own voices twisted into a horrifying chorus. The unseen entities, threatened by their newfound unity, unleashed their full force. But Jack, fueled by a deep respect for the wilderness, refused to be manipulated. He understood the echoes were not malicious entities, but a reflection of the darkness within themselves, amplified by the solitude and fear. With a defiant roar, he silenced his own internal anxieties. The others, inspired by his resolve, followed suit. The chorus faltered, the echoes dissipating into the rustling leaves. The clearing, no longer a place of fear, felt strangely neutral, a part of the vast wilderness. They emerged from the Alaskan wilderness, forever changed. The echoes served as a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks within, but also a testament to the power of unity and respect for the wild places that hold the power to both frighten and empower. The wind howled a mournful song as Dr. Alf Brennan led her team of researchers deeper into the wilds of Connemara. Their mission, to investigate the legend of the Moss Bride, a beautiful but deadly spirit said to lure lonely souls to their doom. Sean O'Connell, their local guide, trudged behind with a heavy heart. The legend held a personal truth for him, a grim reminder of a past love lost to the very wilderness they were exploring. His warnings about the Moss Bride fell on deaf ears, dismissed as mere superstition by Alf's enthusiastic team. Liam McGrath, the team's charismatic researcher, regaled them with tales of similar folklore from around the world, his voice a mask for a deep-seated loneliness. Erin Walsh, the timid student assistant, clung to the fringes of the group, yearning for connection but afraid to speak up. As they reached the abandoned village rumored to be the Moss Bride's domain, a thick blanket of mist rolled in, obscuring the ancient stone cottages and eerie standing stones. The air grew heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the unsettling chirping of unseen birds. One by one, the researchers began to disappear. Liam, lured by a vision of a beautiful woman with emerald hair, vanished into the mist. Sean, haunted by whispers of his lost love, stumbled upon a hidden grotto and met a similar fate. Alf, desperate to find them, felt a creeping fear gnaw at her. The legend of the Moss Bride, once a whimsical tale, now felt terrifyingly real. Erin, her fear morphing into a desperate need to help, confided in Alf about a forgotten fragment of the legend, a way to appease the spirit with a sacrifice of something precious. Driven by a newfound determination, Alf understood the sacrifice. It wasn't a life, the very thing the spirit preyed on, loneliness. They had to find a way to connect, to show the moss bride they weren't alone. Following a trail of shimmering green moss, they found a hidden clearing. There, bathed in an unnatural light, stood the moss bride, a breathtakingly beautiful woman with hair woven from living moss. Around her, Liam and Scene were slowly transforming, their bodies becoming one with the vegetation. Off, tears in her eyes, poured her heart out, speaking of Scene's love for the lost woman, of Liam's yearning for connection. Erin, emboldened by Awif's courage, shared her own story of longing. The clearing fell silent. The moss bride's emerald eyes softened, a flicker of recognition replacing the chilling indifference. With a sigh, she released Liam and Scene, their bodies forever marked by the encounter. As the mist cleared, the researchers emerged from the wilds, forever bonded by their terrifying experience. The Moss Bride remained a legend, but one they now understood, a cautionary tale about the dangers of loneliness and the power of connection, even in the most unexpected places. The emerald canopy swallowed the sunlight whole as Dr. Amelia Cruz led her expedition deeper into the uncharted territory of the Amazon rainforest. Her eyes gleamed with a mix of scientific curiosity and a hint of reckless ambition. Dr. David Singh, the team's anthropologist, trailed behind, his brow furrowed with concern. He knew the dangers of disturbing the delicate balance of the rainforest, the ancient spirits that slumbered beneath the dense foliage. Elena Vargas, their local guide, moved through the undergrowth with a practiced grace, her every step imbued with a silent respect for her ancestral home. Kai Tanaka, the tech-savvy photographer, documented their every move, his camera a constant companion. Days turned into weeks as they trekked through the dense jungle. Rumors of a hidden temple, a forgotten serpent god, swirled amongst the indigenous tribes. Amelia, fueled by ambition, dismissed them as mere superstition. Then, one sweltering afternoon, they stumbled upon it, a colossal stone structure, its walls adorned with intricate carvings depicting serpentine figures. An overwhelming sense of dread hung heavy in the air. Elena, her face pale, pleaded with them to turn back. But Amelia, blinded by her thirst for discovery, pressed on. Inside the temple, they found a chamber filled with countless bones, human and animal alike, arranged in a chillingly precise pattern. An unsettling silence filled the room, broken only by the frantic beating of their hearts. As Amelia reached out to touch a skull, the temple pulsed with a malevolent energy. The ground trembled, and the walls seemed to writhe. When the dust settled, a horrifying realization dawned upon them. Their souls were bound to the bones scattered across the chamber, their bodies frozen in place. Panic erupted. Elena, trapped in the body of a jaguar skeleton, snarled in frustration. David, confined within a crumbling human skull, could only communicate through telepathic whispers. Kai, his spirit tethered to the bones of a giant sloth, documented their horrifying transformation with his mind-controlled camera. A chilling inscription on the temple wall revealed the truth, a ritual of sacrifice to appease the slumbering serpent god. They had to compete in a series of deadly challenges, using the abilities of the bones they were bound to, with only one survivor regaining their original form. The challenges were gruesome, a twisted test of their survival skills and their will to live. Amelia, once arrogant, learned humility as she fought with the limited dexterity of a spider-monkey skeleton. David, trapped in a wolf skull, relied on his knowledge of the jungle's dangers to outsmart his competitors. The temple floor became a macabre battleground, the air thick with the stench of decay and the desperate pleas of the trapped souls. In the end, it was Elena, her spirit bonded with the bones of a fierce harpy eagle, who emerged victorious. With a final agonizing struggle, she freed the remaining souls from their bony prisons. The temple shuddered, and the once dormant serpent god stirred within its slumber. Elena, fueled by her newfound respect for the rainforest and its ancient spirits, used the remaining strength of the harpy eagle to banish the entity back into its slumber. Emerging from the jungle, forever marked by their ordeal, they carried a heavy burden. The secrets of the Amazon remained shrouded in mystery, but they were no longer blinded by ambition. They had learned a terrifying lesson. Some things are best left undisturbed. The crisp mountain air invigorated Maya as she led her friends along the sun-dappled path of the Appalachian Trail. Alex, the ever-present jokester, cracked jokes, his laughter echoing through the silent valley. Sarah, still reeling from a recent heartbreak, walked in a melancholic silence. Ben, an escapee from the city's chaos, found solace in the whispering pines. As dusk settled, casting long shadows across the trail, they reached a hidden campsite nestled beside a gurgling stream. The serenity of the place was intoxicating, but an unsettling silence hung heavy in the air. That night, huddled around a crackling fire, an ethereal melody drifted down from the surrounding peaks, a haunting tune that sent shivers down their spines. The next morning, a subtle shift settled upon the group. Maya, usually the picture of confidence, felt a gnawing sense of doubt creeping in. Alex's jokes became tinged with a dark edge, masking a growing loneliness. Sarah, haunted by the melody, became convinced it mocked her with a phantom voice from her past. Ben, his initial tranquility replaced by unease, started seeing unsettling shapes flitting through the trees. The haunting melody intensified with each passing night, its tune twisting and morphing to exploit their deepest insecurities. Maya, consumed by self-doubt, found fault in every decision. Alex, his loneliness spiraling into paranoia, began accusing his friends of plotting against him. Sarah, on the verge of a breakdown, was tormented by visions of her betrayer. Ben, convinced the melody was a malevolent force, became increasingly erratic. The once idyllic hike turned into a desperate struggle for sanity. Maya, desperate to maintain control, tried to rally the group, but their trust had eroded, replaced by suspicion and fear. The melody, a cruel puppeteer, orchestrated their descent into madness. One night, fueled by paranoia, Alex lashed out. A fight erupted, fueled by the manipulative song. In the ensuing chaos, Ben, his mind fractured, stumbled off the trail, his screams echoing through the valley. Sarah, haunted by visions, retreated deeper into the woods, the melody beckoning her. Left alone, Maya finally understood the true horror of the song. It wasn't a malevolent entity, but a mirror reflecting their deepest fears. With a newfound resolve, she channeled her anxieties into a defiant roar, a challenge to the unseen forces twisting their minds. The melody faltered, the song losing its power. The silence that followed was deafening, but it was a silence of hope. Maya, fueled by a desperate need to find her friends, set off into the woods, the haunting melody a distant echo. Their journey home was arduous. They found Sarah shaken but alive, the melody's hold broken. Ben, however, remained lost, a chilling reminder of the valley's dark power. Emerging from the Appalachian Trail, forever marked by their ordeal, they carried a heavy burden. The haunting melody served as a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks within, waiting to be exploited by the wilderness' unseen forces. The wind howled like a banshee across the bleak expanse of the Scottish Highlands. Ewan, his face weathered by the elements, squinted through the driving rain as he led his group, Fiona, Liam, and Isla, deeper into the unforgiving landscape. A wrong turn on a hiking trail had left them lost and desperate for shelter. A flicker of hope emerged from the swirling mist. A lone village nestled amidst the rolling hills. Relief washed over them as they approached. The village seemed deserted, houses abandoned and windows boarded shut. Yet an unsettling stillness hung in the air, broken only by the rhythmic creaking of a weather vane depicting a grotesque crow. Despite Isla's fervent warnings about the village being cursed, they sought refuge in a seemingly sturdy house. Inside, they found dusty furniture and faded portraits, remnants of a life abruptly abandoned. Fiona, ever the pragmatist, dismissed Isla's fear as mere superstition. As the storm intensified, trapping them within the village, a chilling discovery sent shivers down their spines. In the heart of the village square stood a towering wicker effigy, its grotesque form resembling a monstrous bird with glowing red eyes. A sense of dread, thick as the Highland fog, settled upon them. Liam, the only one with a flickering phone signal, managed to research the village's dark history. He spoke of a forgotten pagan ritual, an offering to appease a malevolent entity that lurked within the mountains, a sacrifice made within the wicker effigy. Panic erupted. Fear replaced the initial relief of finding shelter. Isla, her voice trembling, revealed the villagers hadn't left. They had become sacrifices themselves. The storm, she whispered, was the entity's response, its hunger growing with their delay. With a horrifying realization, they understood the crows circling the village weren't mere scavengers. They were the entity's eyes, watching their every move. The storm raged on, isolating them from any hope of rescue. Desperate to break the cycle, they devised a plan. Using supplies from the abandoned houses, they built a fire within the wicker effigy, a symbolic defiance against the unseen horror. Fiona, fueled by her medical expertise, concocted a concoction of herbs and alcohol, hoping the flames would carry its foul scent as an offering. As they set the effigy ablaze, the storm intensified to a terrifying crescendo. The crows descended, their screeching echoing through the night. But amidst the chaos, a change occurred. The wind began to die down, the rain subsiding. The crows dispersed, their glowing eyes fading into darkness. The following morning, a pale sun peeked through the clouds, revealing a world washed clean. They emerged from the village, forever marked by their encounter. The abandoned houses stood as a chilling reminder of the darkness they had faced and the desperate gamble they had taken. The legend of the wicker effigy would forever haunt the Scottish Highlands, but for Ewan, Fiona, Liam, and Isla, it served as a stark lesson. Respect the wilderness, its ancient secrets, and the whispers carried on the wind, for sometimes the most terrifying monsters are those at peace with fear. The icy wind whipped around Dr. Anya Petrova's face as she gazed upon the entrance to the newly discovered cave system, a gaping maw in the side of a towering alpine peak. Excitement crackled in the air, a mix of scientific curiosity and a touch of reckless ambition. Luc Rousseau, the ever-cautious speleologist, adjusted his helmet light, his face itched with concern. Dr. Evelyn Walsh, the biologist, bubbled with anticipation, eager to document any unknown life forms. Ka Ito, the photographer, readied his camera, capturing their descent into the unknown. The cave system unfolded like a hidden world. Glistening stalactites hung like frozen tears, and the silence was broken only by the rhythmic drip of water. As they ventured deeper, the air grew colder, the darkness more profound. Then they heard it, a faint whispering, an unsettling melody that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The whispers grew louder, morphing into distinct words, chillingly familiar. Anya heard her past mistakes echoed back, her insecurities amplified. Luke, haunted by a tragic accident, felt the whispers blaming him. Evelyn, grappling with a recent betrayal, was taunted by the mocking voices. Kai, struggling with social anxiety, felt isolated and ostracized. Fear and paranoia began to fester within the group. Anya, fueled by ambition, dismissed the whispers as mere acoustics. Luke, increasingly distrustful, accused Anya of recklessness. Evelyn, on the verge of panic, convinced herself the whispers were a hostile life form. Kai, withdrawing into himself, documented their descent into madness with a detached horror. One by one, the whispers exploited their weaknesses, and yet desperate to prove herself, led them deeper into uncharted territory, a reckless gamble fueled by pride. Luke, consumed by paranoia, sabotaged their safety equipment, convinced Anya was endangering them. Evelyn, convinced of a hostile entity, concocted a makeshift weapon, fear clouding her judgment. Kai, a silent observer, captured their descent into chaos with a chilling objectivity. The climax came upon reaching a vast cavern, its walls covered in strange bioluminescent growths. In the center, a pulsating mass of luminous tendrils writhed, the source of the whispers. It wasn't a monster, but a colony of blind, telepathic creatures, feeding off their fear and manipulating their thoughts. Anya, finally understanding the horror they faced, rallied the remaining shreds of their sanity. They needed to present a united front, to starve the creatures of their fear. With a shared look of determination, they stood together, facing the writhing mass. The whispers faltered, their power waning. The creatures, starved of negativity, retreated into the darkness. The silence, once oppressive, now felt like a victory. They emerged from the cave system, forever changed. The French Alps, once a symbol of majestic beauty, now held a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that lurk beneath the surface, preying on human vulnerabilities. The whispers of Bone Ridge would forever echo in their minds, a cautionary tale about the dangers of fear and the importance of trust in the face of the unknown. The golden savanna stretched endlessly before them, a tapestry of swaying grasses and acacia trees. Dr. Amelia Brooks, her eyes sparkling with excitement, adjusted her camera, ready to capture the elusive black rhino rumored to roam the region. David Patel, the seasoned cameraman, scanned the horizon, his gaze ever watchful. Aisha Hassan, the local guide, rode at the front, her face etched with a mixture of concern and respect for the land. James Moore, the sound technician, fiddled with his equipment, his obsession with capturing the perfect audio drowning out the whispers carried on the warm African breeze. Their mission was to document the rarely seen black rhino for a prestigious wildlife documentary. But the savannah, as Aisha warned, held secrets not meant for outsiders. Legends spoke of a ritual, a punishment for those who disturbed the spirits of the land. The price? The loss of their voices, a horrifying silence that left them vulnerable in the heart of the wild. Their initial days were filled with excitement. Amelia captured breathtaking footage of zebras migrating, lions stalking their prey, and the vibrant symphony of life that filled the savannah. But an unsettling silence began to follow them. The once vibrant calls of birds seemed muted, the rustling of leaves eerily absent. The first to be affected was James. His prized audio recordings were filled with a chilling static, a void where the cacophony of the savannah should have been. Panic crept in, his desperate attempts to capture sound only amplifying the horrifying silence. Then came Aisha. Her once fluent explanations of the savannah's wonders became strained whispers. Fear replaced her usual calmness, a deep-seated terror of the legend she had tried to warn them about. Amelia and David, their initial skepticism replaced by a chilling realization, noticed their own voices becoming hoarse, their words echoing emptily in the vast savannah. The vibrant world they were so eager to capture was turning into a silent nightmare. Driven by a desperate need for help, they stumbled upon a hidden watering hole, a sacred place rumored to appease the spirits. Legends spoke of a ritual to undo the silencing curse. It required an offering, something precious, something irreplaceable. With heavy hearts, they understood the sacrifice. They had come to the savannah seeking to exploit its beauty, to capture its voice for the world to see. Now, they had to give something back. Amelia, with tears in her eyes, smashed her prized camera, the symbol of their intrusive ambition. The silence lifted. The chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, the cacophony of life returned, a chorus of nature's forgiveness. Aisha, her voice restored, guided them back to safety. They emerged from the savannah forever changed. The black rhino remained elusive, but they carried a deeper respect for the wild places and the ancient spirits that guard them. The legend of the lost voices served as a chilling reminder. Some things deserve to remain undisturbed, their beauty best appreciated in silence. The icy wind whipped at Max Maverick Davies' face as he paddled his kayak across the glassy surface of a hidden lake nestled deep within the Canadian Rockies. His camera drone buzzed overhead, capturing the breathtaking scenery for his millions of online followers. Cho Compass Chen, his co-host, navigated with practiced ease, a hint of frustration flickering in her eyes. Noah Nomad Miller, the quiet survival expert, scanned the surrounding cliffs, his gaze a mix of caution and concern. Sarah Scout Thompson, the tech-savvy rookie, gripped her camera, her initial bravado replaced by a healthy dose of fear. Their mission: to document a solo kayaking expedition across a remote lake, rumored to be untouched by human intrusion. Max, ever the showman, reveled in the danger, his boasts and adrenaline-fueled challenges grating on closed nerves. Noah, a seasoned outdoorsman, sensed a disquietude in the air, a silence that felt unnaturally heavy. As dusk settled, casting long shadows across the water, an unsettling phenomenon began. Whispers, faint and familiar, drifted across the lake. Max, at first, dismissed them as playful pranks from Chloe, but the voices grew clearer, calling out his mother's name with a heart-wrenching urgency. Panic flared in his eyes. Chloe, witnessing his terror, heard her own father's voice, laced with concern. Sarah, her eyes wide with fear, swore she heard her younger brother's voice begging for help. Only Noah remained unaffected, his gaze fixed on the dark water, a chilling realization dawning on him. The whispers morphed into desperate pleas, manipulating their deepest anxieties. Max, fueled by a desperate need to save his mother, ignored Chloe's warnings and paddled deeper into the lake. Chloe, torn between loyalty and self-preservation, followed in a frantic effort to stop him. Noah, understanding the danger, revealed the legend of the mimic's maw, a creature lurking beneath the lake's surface, luring the unwary with the voices of loved ones. Sarah, her technical expertise proving crucial, managed to disrupt the drone's signal, severing Max's connection to the false pleas. Just as Max, consumed by the illusion, was about to overturn his kayak, Tro reached him. A desperate struggle ensued, a testament to their fading trust. But Noah intervened, his calm voice a lifeline in the escalating chaos. With a final agonizing shriek, the mimicking voices ceased. The lake, once an idyllic picture, now felt menacingly still. They retreated from the shore, shaken and forever bonded by their encounter with the mimic's maw. Leaving the breathtaking scenery behind, they emerged from the Canadian Rockies humbled. Max's online bravado was gone, replaced by a newfound respect for the wilderness. Their story, captured by Sarah's camera without the manipulative drone footage, served as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the heart of nature, disguised as familiar voices and desperate pleas. The biting Siberian wind whipped at Dr. Anya Petrova's face as she gazed upon the newly unearthed site, a petrified forest, its fossilized trees reaching towards the endless sky like skeletal fingers. Excitement crackled in the air, a mix of scientific curiosity and a touch of reckless ambition. Dr. Liam O'Connell, the ever-cautious geologist, furrowed his brow, his gaze lingering on the shifting permafrost, a silent warning of the potential dangers. Sergei Ivanov, their local guide, remained stoic, a deep unease etched on his weathered face. Dr. Evelyn Ramirez, a young paleobotanist, bubbled with enthusiasm, her eagerness echoing through the desolate landscape. Their mission: to unearth a complete fossilized ecosystem, a scientific marvel that could rewrite the history of the Siberian wilderness. But the ancient forest held secrets far more horrifying than fossilized flora and fauna. As they delved deeper, unsettling whispers began to fill the air, guttural growls, chilling roars, the echoes of prehistoric predators long extinct. At first, they dismissed the sounds as auditory illusions, a trick of the wind, but the echoes intensified, morphing into distinct sounds, each more terrifying than the last. Anya, fueled by ambition, pressed on, convinced the echoes were a natural phenomenon. Liam, his warnings ignored, felt a growing sense of dread. Sergei, his face pale, revealed the legend of the echoes of extinction, a curse upon the forest, where the whispers of extinct predators could manifest as monstrous phantoms. Evelyn, her initial excitement replaced by paralyzing fear, swore she saw a fleeting glimpse of a saber-toothed tiger, its form flickering in and out of existence. Panic spread through the camp. Liam, desperate to protect them, urged them to leave, but Anya, blinded by ambition, refused. One night, as a blizzard raged outside, the echoes erupted into a cacophony of terror. A monstrous shadow, the embodiment of a prehistoric bear, materialized from the swirling snow. It was no mere phantom. Its icy claws ripped through tents, its roars shaking the very foundations of the camp. Anya, finally understanding the true horror they had unleashed, led a desperate fight for survival. They used their tools, their knowledge, anything they could muster against the monstrous echoes brought to life. In the end, it was Evelyn's quick thinking that saved them. Remembering Sergei's warnings, she used a powerful sonic emitter, its frequency disrupting the echo's hold on reality. The blizzard subsided, leaving behind an eerie silence. The monstrous phantoms vanished, leaving the petrified forest bathed in the pale light of dawn. They emerged from the Siberian wilderness, forever changed. The echoes of extinction served as a chilling reminder. Some secrets are best left buried, and the past has a way of reclaiming its place, even in the most desolate landscapes. The towering redwoods cast long shadows as Jack Keller led his patrol deeper into the uncharted territory of Redwood National Park. Sarah Rodriguez, the team biologist, scanned the undergrowth, her keen eyes searching for signs of endangered species. Ben Hawkins, the rookie ranger, fidgeted with his equipment, his youthful enthusiasm masking a simmering unease. Emily Chen, the park historian, trailed behind, her gaze fixed on the ancient trees, her mind a whirlwind of forgotten lore. Their routine patrol took a chilling turn when they stumbled upon a clearing, the remnants of a seemingly abandoned village. Crumbling wooden structures lay in disarray, an unsettling silence hanging heavy in the air. As they ventured closer, an unsettling discovery sent shivers down their spines. The villagers weren't gone. They were part of the village itself. The once wooden houses were now gnarled extensions of the surrounding redwoods, their windows transformed into hollow eyes, their doors replaced by twisted branches. The villagers, their faces contorted in a silent scream, were trapped within the very fabric of the trees. Panic erupted. Ben, overwhelmed by the claustrophobic nature of the village, bolted, disappearing into the dense forest. Sarah, her scientific mind struggling to grasp the horror, desperately searched for answers. Emily, recognizing the chilling parallels to forgotten myths of tree worship and human sacrifice, felt a note of dread tightening in her stomach. Jack, ever the pragmatist, knew they needed to escape, but the forest itself seemed to be conspiring against them. The redwoods around the clearing began to twist and writhe, their branches weaving together to form a monstrous wicker labyrinth. The whispers, once faint, now echoed through the trees, a chilling song of imprisonment. As they navigated the labyrinthine prison, a horrifying realization dawned upon them. The redwoods weren't merely passive participants. They were sentient, their ancient memories twisted into a thirst for vengeance. The abandoned village, they understood, was a trap, a lure for unsuspecting outsiders to replenish the forest's grotesque offering. They found Ben, whimpering and disoriented, trapped within a hollowed-out trunk. Sarah, using her knowledge of plant physiology, devised a risky plan. They could potentially disrupt the redwoods' collective consciousness by severing the roots that interconnected them. A desperate fight ensued. Using park tools and sheer willpower, they hacked away at the pulsating root network. The forest responded with renewed aggression, the wicker walls constricting, threatening to crush them. But with a final agonizing effort, they managed to sever the main root, a deep tremor shaking the forest floor. The labyrinth crumbled, the redwoods recoiling as if in pain. The trapped villagers, their screams fading into a mournful sigh, were finally released from their wooden prisons. Exhausted and shaken, they emerged from the forest, forever marked by their encounter with the wicker prison. Redwood National Park, once a symbol of majestic serenity, now held a chilling reminder. The beauty of nature could mask a terrifying darkness, and the whispers of the forest could hold a truth more horrifying than any legend. The wind howled a mournful song as Kai led his group of friends, Freya, Eric, and Sigrid, deeper into the isolated expanse of the Icelandic highlands. Their destination, a hidden waterfall whispered to be breathtakingly beautiful, a reward for their arduous trek. Kai, the ever-jovial leader, cracked jokes to mask the unsettling silence that hung heavy in the air. Freya, with her meticulously planned route, ensured they were on track. Eric, a nature enthusiast, marveled at the stark beauty of the volcanic landscape. Sigrid, the local guide, remained stoic, her gaze lingering on the churning pools of water at the base of the hidden waterfall. As they approached, a mesmerizing sight unfolded before them. Sunlight danced on the cascading water, turning it into a shimmering curtain of mist. The air itself seemed to hum with a hypnotic energy. But Sigrid's face paled. This wasn't just a beautiful waterfall. It was the legendary dwelling of the Moss Bride, a seductive spirit with a deadly touch. Ignoring Sigrid's warnings, Kai, fueled by a thirst for adventure, led them closer. Freya, captivated by the ethereal beauty, lowered her guard. Eric, mesmerized by the sight, felt an inexplicable pull towards the cascading water. The Moss Bride, unseen but potently present, began to weave her magic. Whispers, carried on the wind, promised each of them their deepest desires. Kai heard echoes of laughter and camaraderie, a promise to banish his loneliness. Freya envisioned a life of perfect planning and control. Eric dreamed of being one with nature, a part of the raw beauty that surrounded him. Enticed by these illusions, they ventured closer. Sigrid, realizing the danger, tried to pull them back, but it was too late. The mist from the waterfall clung to them, a chilling embrace. As the mist cleared, a horrifying transformation began. Kai's skin turned green, covered in a creeping moss. Freya's movements became rigid, her features contorted in a frozen smile. Eric's body morphed into a gnarled tree root, his voice a strangled whisper. Sigrid, alone and filled with a primal fear, understood the true cost of their naivety. The Moss Bride, beautiful on the surface, held a heart of darkness, turning her victims into grotesque parodies of their desires. With a heavy heart, she fled, the chilling laughter of the Moss Bride echoing in her ears. She emerged from the highlands, a lone survivor forever marked by the horror of the waterfall. The legend of the Moss Bride served as a chilling reminder. Beauty in the wilderness can be a deadly lure, and the whispers of the wind can hold a truth far more horrifying than any fairy tale. The damp air hung heavy in the entrance of the newly discovered cave system, a gaping maw in the side of a towering Appalachian peak. Excitement crackled amongst the group. Dr. Evelyn Walsh, the fearless biologist, Lucas Thompson, the seasoned spelunker, Maya Sato, the calm and collected climber, and Ben Parker, the tech-savvy photographer. Their mission: to explore the uncharted depths of the cave, a scientific expedition that could rewrite the history of the region. As they ventured deeper, the air grew colder, the darkness more profound. The silence, broken only by the rhythmic drip of water, felt heavy with an unseen presence. Then they heard it, a faint, unsettling melody that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The song was beautiful yet unsettling, a haunting tune that resonated with a primal fear. Lucas, ever cautious, felt a prickle of unease on the back of his neck. Maya, her usual calm facade wavering, swore the melody mocked her past failures. Ben, his camera constantly flickering, felt a growing sense of paranoia, convinced the darkness held unseen dangers. Only Evelyn, fueled by scientific ambition, remained unfazed, dismissing the song as an acoustic phenomenon. The melody intensified, morphing into distinct whispers, echoing their deepest insecurities. Lucas heard doubts about his leadership echoing through the caverns. Maya was taunted with visions of past mistakes. Ben felt ostracized and isolated, his anxieties amplified by the ever-present darkness. Fear and paranoia began to fester within the group. Lucas, doubting his own abilities, questioned every decision. Maya, consumed by self-doubt, became withdrawn and suspicious. Ben, on the verge of panic, convinced himself the others were plotting against him. Evelyn, finally noticing the change in her team, realized the song wasn't a natural phenomenon. It was a malevolent entity feeding on their fear. Desperate to break free from its control, Evelyn devised a plan. Using the cave's natural acoustics and her knowledge of bioluminescent organisms, she orchestrated a counter-melody, a symphony of light and sound that resonated with hope and courage. The entity, starved of its fear-fueled sustenance, recoiled. The haunting music faded, replaced by an eerie silence. Exhausted but united, they emerged from the cave system, forever changed. The Appalachian Mountains, once a symbol of adventure, now held a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that lurk beneath the surface, preying on human vulnerabilities. The Song of the Starving Valley served as a stark lesson. Fear can be a powerful weapon, and true strength lies in facing your inner demons, especially in the face of the unknown. The relentless desert sun beat down upon the towering sandstone walls of the uncharted canyon. Maya Ramirez, her fingers dancing across the rock face, scaled with practiced ease. Below her, Alex Chen, her ever-watchful partner, secured their safety line, a mix of excitement and apprehension etched on his face. Dr. Evelyn Walsh and Dr. Kai Ito, the scientific team, watched from a distance, their initial awe replaced by a growing unease. Their mission: to conquer the first ascent of the Carnivorous Canyon, a geological marvel rumored by local tribes to be cursed. Maya, fueled by a need to conquer the impossible, scoffed at the legends. Alex, however, felt a shiver crawl down his spine as he gazed at the impossibly smooth, razor-sharp edges of the rock face. As they climbed deeper into the canyon, the air grew colder, a damp chill emanating from the seemingly lifeless rock. Evelyn, examining the rock formations with a geologist's eye, noticed a disturbing anomaly: microscopic crystalline structures that shimmered under her magnifying glass. Kai's biological curiosity piqued. Theorized these might be a previously unknown extremophiles, a life form adapted to the harsh canyon environment. Their theories were shattered by a horrifying discovery. As Maya reached a particularly challenging section, a jagged protrusion on the rock face unexpectedly shot out, its crystalline edges as sharp as a blade. With a sickening scream, Maya lost her grip, dangling precariously in midair. Alex, reacting with lightning speed, ascended the rope with superhuman strength, hauling Maya back to safety. He emerged from the climb pale and shaken, his hands slick with blood from a deep gash inflicted by the rock. Panic erupted. The rock face wasn't just inanimate. It was a living, predatory organism, its crystalline structures acting as teeth, the damp chill a sign of its internal life force. The legends whispered of a canyon that devoured the unwary, and now they understood the horrifying truth. Evelyn, using her knowledge of geology, devised a plan. Certain minerals could disrupt the crystalline structures. With a desperate gamble, they used their climbing gear to etch symbols onto the rock face, symbols representing the minerals found in the canyon. The canyon responded with a low tremor. The crystalline structures retracted, the rock face returning to its seemingly lifeless state. Exhausted and shaken, they rappelled down the canyon wall, forever scarred by their encounter. The sun-baked cliffs of the southwest canyons, once a symbol of majestic solitude, now held a chilling reminder. The line between the beauty and the horror of nature was indeed thin, and sometimes the most breathtaking landscapes held the most terrifying secrets. The tale of the Carnivorous Canyon became a legend whispered among climbers, a cautionary reminder that even rock can be a hungry predator. The damp Irish air hung heavy over the vast expanse of the Howling Bog. Dr. Fiona Walsh, her eyes sparkling with excitement, adjusted her binoculars. This was it, their chance to document a colony of the critically endangered curlew, a once thriving bird species clinging to existence in the heart of the bog. Sean O'Connell, the seasoned field researcher, scanned the landscape with a practiced eye, A hint of unease etched on his weathered face. Dr. Amelia Chang, the meticulous biologist, meticulously logged data, her scientific curiosity battling a growing sense of foreboding. Liam Kelly, the skilled drone pilot, readied his equipment, his youthful enthusiasm dampened by the oppressive silence of the bog. Their mission: to locate and document the curlew population, a crucial step in their conservation efforts. But the howling bog held secrets far more unsettling than the cries of endangered birds. As dusk settled, a chilling melody filled the air, a haunting call that mimicked the curlew's song, yet held a discordant note, a sinister melody woven into the familiar tune. Fiona, fueled by her passion for the birds, dismissed it as a curious anomaly. But seeing his face pale, recognized the call as a harbinger of danger. Legends spoke of the bog wraith, a malevolent entity that lured unsuspecting travelers with the echoes of lost things, forgotten memories, cherished voices, and in their case the calls of the endangered birds. Amelia, ever the pragmatist, remained skeptical, but Liam, his drone footage capturing the unsettling call, felt a prickle of fear. The haunting song intensified, seemingly emanating from all directions, drawing them deeper into the treacherous bog. The ground beneath their feet grew spongier, threatening to swallow them whole. Panic erupted as Fiona, fueled by her determination to find the curlews, ignored Scene's warnings. Amelia, her scientific curiosity turning to dread, watched in horror as Fiona ventured further into the bog, the haunting song her only guide. Scene, desperate to save her, revealed the truth. The bog wraith fed on their desires, twisting their deepest wishes into a deadly lure. He pleaded with Amelia and Liam to help him bring Fiona back. With a newfound resolve, they devised a plan, a cacophony of random noise to disrupt the wraith's control. Liam, utilizing his drone, blasted white noise and disorienting visuals, while Amelia used her scientific equipment to emit a series of high-pitched sounds. The effect was immediate. The haunting song faltered, the air clearing of its oppressive melody. They found Fiona, chest-deep in the bog, her eyes glazed over, the curlew's song echoing on her lips. With a desperate struggle, they pulled her free. Exhausted and shaken, they emerged from the howling bog, forever changed. The vast expanse, once a canvas of scientific curiosity, now held a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk in the heart of nature, disguised as forgotten melodies and the whispers of what we long for most. The echoes of the howling bog served as a stark lesson. Sometimes, the most alluring sounds can lead you down the darkest paths.